Hello and welcome to a new video. Today we're gonna take a look at XL Zarude. I'm using all my rare XL candy, okay, not all of them, but half of my rare XL candy that I saved up for this Pokemon. And the IVs are, as you can see on the right side, completely garbage. And why did I still do it? We're gonna talk about it today. And also, hopefully you have a little bit better luck. You see, for example, on my left side, most likely how I catch my new one for today. Yeah, like it was worse than the one that I had prior, and the one that I had prior had 10 attack, and this is already kinda sad, but yeah, I have two Zarudes now with 10 attack. Interestingly enough, the new one that I got is actually pretty decent for the Ultra League, so maybe if you want to see a showcase of the Zarude in the Ultra League, then let me know down below. But I have to say, if you saw my video about the top meta Pokemon for the Master League, I put Zarude, I think, into the A+ tier because I thought that this Pokemon going to have a lot of potential in the current meta. And I have to say, I did not really encounter the Pokemon that I really expected to encounter with Zarude. There were a lot more Dragon-type Pokemon that I really wanted, but against Pokemon like Kyogre, you're actually going to be really decent. Honestly, Zarude is charging up pretty fast, and it's most likely the only really viable grass type that you can run currently in the Open Master League. And I have to say, I do not regret using my rare candies on this Pokemon. This Pokemon is something like, if you can build it, I would recommend you to build it. It's a really cool Pokemon to use, especially in the current meta, as there are a lot of water type Pokemon because of Landorus. You still can go toe-to-toe against Landorus because you're going to be able to resist the ground type moves and you can still do neutral damage. And even against the fairy type Pokemon, as you can see here, you have a chance. And so the opponent's going to go for a serve here with their Kyogre, but does that really matter? It does not, and we're going to be able to go ahead and win this game. What I have to say as well, I'm going to most likely stream some games with this team later on this channel as well. I'm mostly going to do 3 sets here, because I'm also going to have like a sponsored section later on, so definitely stay tuned for the stream. Going to be great, and also can at least try this team out a little bit more, because I feel like this team is really good. One issue for this team, which is not really a team issue in general, is just that the game itself was insanely laggy today. Like, it was nearly unplayable, which is something that I also already complained about yesterday evening, about the Tapu Lele video where I tried to use Tapu Lele and like the game was insanely clunky. This was the exact same thing here again, and so yeah, I don't know, like if you can avoid playing right now, I would maybe not try to play. Here I went for the Undercharge, but unlike Darkest David, which I was able to showcase twice this gameplay on this channel this week, I'm not as great at Undercharging, but still the opponent was only able to go for one Side Strike. You saw already like the clunkiness of the game when the opponent swapped in and like everything was standing still. I think it's kind of for both sides. I don't think it's just my side, but I definitely know that some games, especially like the last few days, I lost because of the clunkiness of the game, so it's kind of annoying to have to deal with something like this, but it is what it is. Here we're going to see the Landorus going to be able to get the debuff onto the Palkia, but they can go for the full farm down, which is a very scary one for us. I can still go into my Mewtwo, and I have to hope that I can reach the Side Strike, but they let us get the extra free fast move in, so if I decide to no shield here, we're going to be fine. We would still be able to survive a Spatial Rant, and we can win this EMP tie, which is going to be crucial as the opponent is now going to decide to forfeit this game. Next opponent coming through, we're going to have a Palkia in the lead. What you kind of want to do here is you kind of want to weaken it up, because basically as soon as you're going to hit one Sensei Storm, both Power Whip as well as a Side Strike are going to be able to knock it out. And of course here like this, the opponent cannot get to the Aqua Tail in time. But also I don't really want to get hit by the Spatial Rant, so I decided to go for a shield here. It was the Aqua Tail, great play by the opponent. But it's still going to be okay for us. We can go for another Side Strike. This is going to be able to get the shield from the opponent. As you're going to see here, they are going to go ahead and, yeah, let's see what's going to be. It's going to be a Spatial Run coming through, going to be shielded, and we can go for the next charge move here. This is going to be able to get the knockout against the opponent as well. In comes the Landorus, and we can go for the Side Strike, as this is going to be able to get the shield from them, and we can try to swap onto the Sensei Storm into our own one, which is going to be great. And yeah, let's take a look at this one. We're gonna see the drop onto our attack. We can still try to go for a Stone Edge, but they're going to reach it in time. But we're still going to have in the back there our what's called our Zarude. Zarude is going to be great for this matchup again. Like, Stone Edge is still going to be neutral, but that's basically the only thing that they can go for. Back in the day, this matchup was not as great, as the opponent would have went for something like a Superpower on the land Landorus, but now with Sensia Storm it makes the matchup way better for Zarude, and so we can knock out the Primarina here as well. Goodbye there, and Zarude is just going to town. I mean, look at this, we can just completely destroy the opponent. Power Whip coming through, the opponent is deciding to forfeit here as the Side Strike is coming through already. I can just undershot because we saw already that they forfeited, and we can move on to the next opponent. Zygarde is a little bit of a trickier Pokemon for this team. Why is that so? Because we don't really have the hardest answers for everything, but in a Zygarde meta, Zarude is actually kinda good. Why? Because usually Zygarde is running the charge moveset of Crunch and Earthquake. Some people go for the Outrage over Earthquake nowadays, also because Earthquake got nerfed before. But the usual moveset is Earthquake, of course, because of the Dialga mainly. But so the charge moveset of the Zygarde is going to get completely walled by the typing of Zarude, which is really cool as well. So it is definitely not as bad here. And what I have to say about this team as well, maybe I'm going to do this for the stream. I might just get rid of Shadow Ball on my Mewtwo. I have to say that I just really enjoy either having Ice Beam or the Focus Blast on this Pokemon in the nowadays meta. It's still not bad to have Shadow Ball, but I feel like maybe if I build my Shadow Mewtwo, which I have a really good one, actually I have two really good ones, I might decide to go for the Shadow Ball on this Pokemon then. But I feel like Shadow Ball is cool, like it is definitely a solid move to go for on Mewtwo, but in the current meta I feel like Focus Blast has so much more plays, Dialgas everywhere. And also we can talk a little bit about how this team kinda works. You're going to have the best answer for Dialga in the lead with the Landorus, and usually Mewtwo swaps out and gets out the Dialga, and of course for this matchup you kinda want to have Focus Blast. And so for me this is like one of the reasons why I feel like it is going to be better to have Focus Blast on Mewtwo for this team here. But it is really, like it is what it is. Like I wish I had like unlimited resources and would be able to just build 2 Mewtwo's, but it's not really the case. Here we're gonna see that the opponent still has the Zygarde, of course, available. We can go for a charge move, trying to debuff their own attack here, which is going to be very important for us as well. They're gonna go straight for the Crunch, which is allowing us to go back into our Zarude. And if we can outspeed them to 2 moves, we might be actually good here. Let's see. We're gonna have the first Power Whip coming through. Can we still reach the next one? We can. And this might win us the game. Let's see if this is going to be enough to knock them out. It is not. And we lose by like a 1 HP. And with the clunkiness of the game, I feel like I most likely missed somewhere one fast move, and this was all that matters. And this is like the thing as well for a lot of games. Sometimes it's just like this one fast move that really matters, and if you just don't get it in because the game is clunky, it is really hurting you. Here, for example, again, Dialga swapping in, like Dialga swapping in the entire time against my Mewtwo, and so I really think of going for Focus Blast today for the stream because I feel like it is going to be the better move to go for. In comes here most likely our Landorus. By the way, look at this. I try to go for the Sensia Storm. I don't get the move shown. Like, it is so laggy and so annoying to play right now. We're off time coming in. Like, the opponent would have not got there until, like, unless they would go for a shield. And so now I can overform, of course, the 100 energy, but it's still not going to be as great as us with more HP and still a shield more. It is just so impactful. Like, we would have easily won CMP there, so we kind of have to play around here a little bit. We're gonna go for the Sensia Storm. I hope that they actually use a shield because I want to swap out on the Side Strike, and at least the Side Strike is going to connect against our Zarude, which is going to be great, but it's not going to be over yet. We see that the opponent goes for, I think, 5 fast move it was, but I'm not too sure, and they're going to have a Zacian in the back. Imagine I had an extra shield now. Then I would have been way better off because I would have been able to shield up 2 2 play roughs from the opponent, which would have been great. But no, we only have 1 shield, and so we have to use it kind of immediately here as the opponent goes for a charge move, and the switch cloak is not up, not even close, and so our Zarude is not going to appreciate another play rough that is coming through. We will see it here right now. Play rough is going to... No, it's actually a close combat and it's not going to knock us out, and so we still have a chance now. The opponent is going to have to, basically let this move go through. They still have a shield. I can still reach my Sensia Storm, and the opponent is at 9 fast moves at this point of time, so they need 1 more to go for a second Side Strike afterwards, and they didn't. And so, what we can now do, because we have a move stored, we can still reach the Power Whip 1 fast move before the opponent would be at back-to-back Side Strikes, and we can win this game. Good game there. The lag was really annoying in this game. Next opponent, we saw actually quite a lot of Ho-Oh leads again. In comes the Mewtwo and you can try to catch the move again. Issue is, if other Mewtwo's would run something like Focus Blast. Imagine someone would do this, it would be really annoying. Here this player goes for Side Strike, of course, it's going to be great for me. I can go for a Dark Pulse again. This is going to be super effective, this would knock them out, but they decide to use a shield. And now I was a little bit curious. Do they actually run Focus Blast? Do they not? They're gonna go for another Side Strike, so I'm like, do you actually just bait it here the entire time with like Side Strike and try to swap out in eventually? I'm not too sure about it, but I decided to use a shield and I might even actually decide to no shield this one. And the opponent goes for another Side Strike here, so maybe they're just baiting me the entire time because they're now swapping out into the Ho-Oh just to get one-shotted by our Landorus. But yeah, maybe they were just baiting the entire time, thinking, yeah, maybe if I use a shield, the opponent thinks that, or like me then at this point, thinks that they have like Focus Blast or whatever. But I don't know, like we're gonna be able to go for the Sancia Storm, this should knock them out, and with this we're going to still be able to go for another one no matter what they have in the bag. It's going to be their Dialga and we can easily win this game. Interesting play from the opponent for sure, but let's move on here. We're going to have the Zacian against us in the lead. Exactly where I kind of want to face it, as our Zarude is actually okay now at this point because the opponent would be in range for just one Power Whip, which is great. Power Whip, by the way, a very strong move. 50 energy, 90 damage, very, very solid. Here we're going to see the Mewtwo coming in, and so we can completely hardwall them, right? Let's find out. No. It's going to be a Focus Blast Mewtwo, and of course, this is going to happen eventually. Like, it is way more common nowadays still to have the Shadow Ball over Focus Blast, but eventually you're going to encounter someone that is not running the actual moveset here. We have our Mewtwo best buddy, so I know that we win CMP tie, but they decide to use a shield, which is a smart move, but I also, of course, know that they only have Side Strike and Focus Blast at this point, so I don't really have to shield anything. But they make a great play here. They catch them next move on Dialga. And this is going to allow me to go into my Landorus and overfarm by quite a bit, and like it doesn't really matter because I had already so much energy anyway. Maybe I could have went for the undercharge here, but I'm not too sure if I would have been able to pull it off anyway, so yeah, we're gonna see that the opponent is gonna go down, and now it's coming down to basically Landorus winning this game. Mewtwo swapping in, I thought, maybe that's going to be enough to knock them out. It is not. If I went ahead and if I went for a Stone Edge instead there, I think I would have been fine because Stone Edge does way more damage. I would have most likely been able to one-shot them, and so they would have not been able to go for 2 moves. And then it's the Zacian though. Maybe I was lost this game, I'm not too sure, but yeah, it is what it is. We're going to lose it like this now. Very unfortunate that I had Focus Blast, but let's move on to the final battle of today. So if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, of course. I spent so much resources on the Zarude here. I might showcase it again next time when Master League is going to be available. I guess like next week it's still available, but we gonna all play Great League. Like, let's be honest, like who's playing Ultra League or Master League at this point? But yeah, we're going to see here that the opponent is going to have their Dialga against us. I just really dislike the matchup here for Landorus against the Dialga Origin because you're not going to be able to farm them down after hitting one charge move, which is really annoying unless you use 2 shields. And so for sure Dialga Origin is better in the current meta because it's just better against the Landorus. So yeah, definitely a solid Pokemon there. I might actually build another Dialga Origin because I got a Hundo after I already powered up, I think like a 14, 15, 14 or something that was shiny. But yeah, it is what it is. I might actually build another one. Here we're gonna see the opponent having a Ho-Oh. What we can do here is we can actually overfarm by quite a bit. I'm only gonna overfarm by 4 fast moves. I could have overfarmed by up to 7, I think, if I wanted to, but I just didn't want to have my Mewtwo super low in the health. So with this, we should be able to still reach easily another charge move, and we can swap out now into our Zarude. Can Zarude still win this game? And that's the question here. It's going to be tough, but the opponent is making a play here of swapping into Dialga. Now I have to overfarm to 2 charge moves, but they still reach their Iron Head in time. I just have to hope that I can win CMP tie or something against the Palkia, which I shouldn't, or they just don't go for the Awkward Tail. Let's find out. They don't go for the Awkward Tail. Maybe that charge moves didn't show up like for me before. I don't know, but Zarude, honestly, very solid Pokemon to play. If you can build it, I would build it. You don't need great IVs anyway for this Pokemon. Like the IVs that I have are totally fine. And yeah, I hope I see you later on for the stream, and I'll see you then. Bye bye.